concentration now is whether we are in a position as a country to reduce prices, to scrap taxes from the petroleum products.
Are we in that position?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that issue that our minority brothers are raising, my brother, they have not sat down to think through and give us any good solution or alternative approach.
So I listened to Kasilato Forsen, for example, and they're saying that there are possibilities, there are ways of going through this to ensure that you can ease the burden on the ordinary Ghanaian.
When you are dealing with numbers that impact people or lives, you can't sit there and say there are possibilities. I was expecting my NDC brothers to have done the needful, and the needful be with your facts and figures and the impact and what we can do and the opportunity cost or the lapses, the gaps that will be left and how we'll fill them, and even long-term, medium-term impact that these decision-making processes will bring. Let me tell you, Ghana here, we call something effective tax rate. Effective tax rate is subtracting, is the total tax collected minus transfers over total income. And this is done for people along the social stratification, the poor, I would say the average poor, the top, and then below the top. And in Ghana here, the effective tax rate is always negative. What it means is that Ghana government, whether party or be in power, is transferring more funds, outlays, than people themselves or revenue that we are collecting. In fact, that has been one of the major contributing factor to our always large deficit or huge debt in our country. That is one. Two, this situation we are having today, unless people don't want to face realities, most of the problems are uncontrollable factors. It's not about the government A or B. One, we were going through periods of very, very low productivity. And even now we have not resumed full productivity as a country and even as a globe. To the extent that it got to a time that we had to even live in our houses without even going out. Bars were not operating, cars were not moving. And that means that the market and industry activities were extremely sluggish. And these things affected revenue generation. Last year, shortfalls alone, if I'm right, was about 14 billion. And government in anywhere in the world will always have to spend because we have statutory spending, we have other obligations that we need to perform, and we have discretionary spending.
So you mentioned all of these things, and rightly so.
Oh, I want to answer that you understand what I'm saying. I beg you.
Wrap on that point.
I'm just begging, yes. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that, for instance, our interest payments have gone out because of accumulated debt from the NDC and the MPP together. And we have maturity dates, and most of the maturity dates for payment are now. So if a government is forced or compelled to spend and you cannot generate revenue too much, basically you rely on debt portfolio. And now our debt is also going up, debt to GDP over 70%. So now they are asking us not to borrow. They are asking us to remove taxes. Are they thinking about the cyclical effect, long-term effect or medium-term effect? It's rather going to kind of bring back in more magnitude the hardship that we want to actually alleviate. So what they are saying practically is wrong. It would rather affect Ghanaians, but what you said, that I agree with you, that Ato also said I agree with him, but not into details. He should have done proper work on that we need to cut down expenditure. That one I agree. But if you cut down expenditure, my brother, you need to cut down expenditure on areas which have almost zero correlation with our GDP growth. You can cut down expenditure anyhow. Once you do that, you're also affecting the people. So the government should rather select areas of almost zero correlation with our GDP and cut down expenditures in these areas.
All right.
We cut down expenditures. Have you calculated the amount that we are saving? Can the amount solve the obligations? We need to. It's a comprehensive program. So they can't just wake up and out of politics, force government to cut down this, reduce this, so that they'll get political capital and win power. Do they want to win power and supervise or preside over a country which is already destroyed? So we are arguing.